Taking on swarms of enemy soldiers with a single gun and winning, blowing up enemy bunkers, planes, and tanks all on your own, brushing off numerous wounds and injuries as if they were paper cuts. These are all the sorts of things we associate with John Rambo. The Sylvester Stallone character was pretty spectacular, however, fictional, because nobody could really ever do that stuff. Or could they? Turns out there have been more than a few real-life Rambos, and we have them all right here. Hit that subscribe button and prepare to be amazed at just how pathetic Rambo can be made to look after getting compared to these very real badasses. Alvin York. Before Rambo, there was Alvin York. This American-born corporal and several other soldiers were sent out in October 1918 to silence some German machine guns that were firing on American positions. Over the course of the operation, the Americans had suffered several dead and wounded. York, now in charge of the group, left his men with a group of prisoners while he ventured out against a German machine gun position. After coolly shooting several enemy soldiers, he was charged upon by a group of Germans. Out of rifle ammo, York drew his sidearm and shot them. The surviving Germans were so shocked they surrendered to York, who then took his 130 prisoners back behind American lines. Abu Azrael. With an Arabic name translating into Angel of Death, Abu Azrael is an Iraqi Rambo. This militia fighter has made a name for himself fighting against ISIS and reportedly killing 1,500 of them. While there's no way to verify those figures, eyewitnesses' testimony and online videos seem to support that this Shiite militiaman loves nothing more than killing terrorists. Often seen with an assault rifle, rocket launcher, and axe, Azrael really does fit the image of a modern-day Rambo. Apparently, ISIS have even taken notice and deemed this desert warrior a threat, even mentioning him in some of their publicly released videos. Jack Churchill. Anyone who serves their country and goes into battle is brave. Then there's Jack Churchill. This British soldier went into combat armed with a broadsword and a longbow. Did we mention this was during World War II, when everyone else was armed with rifles and machine guns? Churchill saw action all over Europe, from France to Norway to Yugoslavia. In fact, it was even reported that he holds the distinction of making the last kill with a longbow in a war when he shot a German soldier in 1940. Being a true Rambo, he escaped from a German prison camp and was actually upset when the war ended before he could see any action against the Japanese. Banbagta Gurung. In 1945, a group of Nepalese Gurkha soldiers were advancing through the Burmese jungle when they ran into a Japanese position. Banbagta Gurung and the rest of his men were firmly pinned down until Gurung decided to release his inner Rambo. Exposing himself to enemy fire, he first shot the sniper, then the rest of Gurung's men watched as he leapt from enemy foxhole to enemy foxhole, killing every single enemy soldier he came across with grenades in his bayonet. When a Japanese bunker was foolish enough to fire at Gurung, he simply ran inside and killed the crew with a rock because he was out of ammunition. Adrien Carton de Wiart. If Marvel was ever looking for someone to command Captain America, they should turn to Adrien Carton de Wiart. This British soldier survived 3 major wars, was shot several times, and even survived 2 plane crashes. When he was captured, he simply tunneled his way out of the prison camp. When a doctor refused to amputate his mangled fingers, Carton de Wiart simply tore them off himself. During World War I, the one-eyed, one-armed officer fought alongside his men, pulling the pins of grenades with his teeth. He just couldn't be killed, leaving us to think he was half Rambo and maybe half Terminator. Yogendra Singh Yadav. We can't overlook India's contribution when talking about real-life Rambos. Yogendra Singh Yadav definitely fits the bill. In 1999, during the Kargil War, Yadav volunteered to scale the side of a mountain in order to secure a rope for the rest of the men to climb up. As he climbed the rock, enemy forces opened fire. Yadav was shot 3 times but carried onward through the bullets and the rockets. Reaching the top, he charged one bunker and killed everyone with a grenade. He then attacked a second bunker, reportedly using his ice axe and fists to finish the job. Erich Hartmann. While there are more than a few real-life Rambos running around on the ground, some even existed in the air. Enter German fighter ace Erich Hartmann. Amazingly, Hartmann flew the entire Second World War, survived, and ended up racking up an astounding 352 victories in the air. It's a record which remains tops in the world. He crashed countless times and even served time in a Russian prison camp. After the war, rather than say he'd had enough, Hartmann rejoined the West German Luftwaffe. Leo Major. How many enemy soldiers can say they captured an entire city by themselves. Leo Major sure can. The Canadian was built of stern stuff, given he lost an eye in Normandy and suffered a broken back in Belgium. In 1945, he then entered the German-occupied city of Zwolle by himself. Rather than return to base and report on the situation, Major went full-on Rambo, running through the city, shooting his gun, throwing grenades, and capturing dozens of stunned German soldiers. By the next morning, there were no Germans to be seen in the city, as Major had scared the rest out of town. Audie Murphy. An American legend, Audie Murphy is a name any U.S. serviceman recognizes. His record lists continual run-ins with enemy soldiers, machine guns, and snipers. In January 1945, Murphy's unit was stationed in Alsace when they were suddenly attacked by hundreds of German troops and several tanks. Releasing his inner Rambo, Murphy jumped up on a blazing tank and fired his machine gun at the advancing enemy. Wounded, he held the position for an hour and killed dozens of enemy troops. Needless to say, acts like this helped him to become America's most decorated soldier. Simo Häyhä. Stealthy and often operating alone in the cold wilderness of Finland, Simo Häyhä earned his nickname of the White Death. You see, as a Finnish sniper, Häyhä faced off against the Red Army when they invaded Finland in 1939. Over the course of 100 days, it is reported that he killed well over 500 Russian soldiers using just his rifle and no special scopes. Making it even more impressive, he performed his task in temperatures often dipping towards -40 degrees. In March 1940, Häyhä's war ended when a Russian bullet shattered his left cheek and jaw. Nonetheless, he remains the leading sniper in history when it comes to confirmed kills. Well, to be honest, those are some guys who even Rambo would have trouble keeping up with. Speaking of keeping up with stuff, why not check out some of our other videos on offer here at The Richest? We've got comedy, we got gossip, we got trivia, and scandals galore. Remember to subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye!